All right, so today is officially the start of baseball for the Chicago Cubs as pitchers and catchers report officially began today. So there it is, baseball. Baseball season's underway, and I guess it's a day of a lot of optimism for Cubs fans because all of us alike are looking for a lot of change. Just a few random things we're looking at today. Talk to Anthony Rizzo. He comes in with all the young guys saying, hey, look, we're not going to go in and expect to win games this year. We have to go in there and earn it. And I feel like, that's good that the Cubs are getting that different atmosphere around them, a winning atmosphere, something that, they really didn't have the last time that they were competitive. So I like to see a guy like Anthony Rizzo say that. Javier Baez came back significantly slimmer. You could crack a joke saying that it's from all the times he's walking back to the dugout from striking out 4 times a game. But hopefully Javier Baez can work on those issues, and I really think that he'll improve. He's proven time and time again that he's been able to mature in himself in whatever league he's in. We saw it in AAA, we saw it in AA. And hopefully he'll be able to continue doing that in the MLB because Baez's raw potential is right up there with really any other prospect in the MLB. I know you can't really consider him a prospect anymore, but any other young player in the MLB. Those are all just really good things to see that the Cubs are producing right away. Kyle Hendricks looking to build off, have a stronger season. Jake Arrieta saying he's ahead of schedule. All these things are vital for the Cubs to be able to improve and be able to be a better team this season. And I have no doubt in my mind that they will be. I think this Cubs team will be exponentially better. But the main thing that we really need to talk about as far as the Cubs going into the season is Kris Bryant. There's no doubt that Kris Bryant's going to be a guy that, regardless of what team you're a fan of, you're going to be seeing what he's going to be doing in spring training. Because there's a significant situation that the Cubs are going to have to handle, and it's going to be a big decision for them to make come opening day. Kris Bryant's agent, Scott Boras, is obviously a guy that wants to get the most money for his clients. He's gained that reputation throughout the years, and Kris Bryant is no different. This is a guy that signed for a $6.7 million signing bonus just 2 days before the deadline when he was drafted. So Bryant's finally going to make that step into Major League Baseball, and we know he's capable. He's been capable of playing in the MLB really since mid last year. But the thing is, do you keep him down for around the first month to get that extra year team control? And that matters a lot down the line in like 2021, 2022. Or are you going to have him start the season and worry about the contract deal later? And, that's an interesting dilemma. And right off the bat, the clear answer is leave him down for a month if we're going to be able to get that extra year control. But if I'm Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer, that decision is not as easy as people may think. It makes it seem like it's a smart move just to keep them down. But when you're a team that's made the statement saying that you're ready to compete, you're very tempted to bring up a guy that will have a certain spark, not just to the other players, but to the fan base, but into Major League Baseball in general. People are going to want to come to Wrigley Field to see a guy like Kris Bryant play. That's just a lot of what new guys do. This isn't Corey Patterson. This isn't even Mark Pryor. It isn't Javier Baez. This guy, at least as far as what we've seen in the minor leagues, is a once-in-a-generation talent. So before I even make any of these judgment calls, or before Theo and Jed make any of these judgment calls, people actually make decisions, it's going to be very vital just to see how Kris Bryant plays in spring training. It's going to be more important. So if Kris Bryant comes out and he's hitting 425, you're going to be more tempted to bring him up. But if you see that, he's hitting maybe 270, which is still extremely respectable and definitely capable to be in the MLB, maybe it'll be justified more if you say, well, we'll leave him down AAA for a month. We'll see if he works out any more kinks because he does strike out a fair amount. But Kris Bryant is ready for Major League Baseball, and I don't think anybody's debating that. But the thing at hand here is it going to be the more fiscally responsible thing to do to leave him down in AAA for a month instead of going right out there and having him in the MLB on April 5th against St. Louis? Because everybody's going to want to see Kris Bryant on national TV on April 5th. I'm looking to, make the 6-hour drive back home so I can maybe see it live. So people really are anticipating seeing Kris Bryant on opening day. Other baseball columnists think that Theo and Jed are going to pull the trigger and have Kris Bryant start at third base. And a big statement that was made with this was trading Luis Valbuena, which was the guy that was a third baseman for most of last year. And you highly doubt that they're going to bring back Mike Gold to start the season, a guy that was struggling to reach 170 in batting average. So Kris Bryant's definitely capable, but it's just to see if they even already have a decision in mind or if they're going to see what happens with spring training. My guess is the latter, and I think the Cubs will make the responsible decision because you never know. This can be the year for the Cubs to emerge because really, 5 of the last 6 times the Cubs have made the playoffs, they were way below 500 the year before. Even, the only exception to that was the back-to-back division titles in 2007 and 2008. So nobody's really doubting that the Cubs are a playoff caliber team. But the thing is, do you make the decision to say we want to be playoff caliber right from the beginning? Bring that guy in that's going to add a spark to the clubhouse, spark to the fan base, spark to baseball, and give yourself a better chance to win those games in April. Get yourself off to a better start this season. It sounds a bit more tempting when you put it that way, especially because, like I mentioned in my last video, 13-27 was a Cubs record through their first 40 games. Then they played 500 baseball. So you don't want to get off to a start that is not representative of what the team can play like. So that's going to be the thing I'll be watching out for all of spring training, and it'll be a lot of fun and really interesting. And either way, Kris Bryant will be in the major leagues by May, barring any injury. So I'm super excited for this year. I'll be back for, a few weekly updates. And then, of course, I'll be back for every day in spring training just to give a quick rundown of what's going on, what happened with the games. And then, of course, regular season, I'm looking to be back to doing daily vlogs and recaps for each of those games. But we have hope from Clark and Addison going into spring training 2015. This has been Peter Marzano. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where I'll be putting all the videos from here on out. And, of course, like the Facebook page if you haven't already. And Emus Catuli, let's go Cubs.